And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs for NECC Week 7, Valpo Varsity Overwatch versus Bradley University. I'm your host, Dikembe. I'm here with my co-host.
Henry, Speedy Kill Ninja.
And I mean, we're just gonna hop right into it because we are going into game here. I mean, taking a look at it, we're on Oasis for first map. Pretty important just because it's a very close quarters map, right? Especially if we take a look at the point here, the center point. You have a lot of areas to kind of work around. You got a lot of high ground, got a lot of low ground. But I think the most important thing is that if we're talking about at least patch 1 here for Overwatch, a lot of the supports have just been somewhat nerfed to the ground.
Yeah, that was a big patch because, I mean, supports have been so strong recently.
And sorry about that, folks, but we are now hopping back into the game here as we do have the first initial push. It looks like Valpo's going to get spread out a little bit on point here. You have Atlas popping that form, going to be able to slide in, try to get something, but Orisa will block off a lot of that damage, or may on Bradley University's side, walling off that front exit, and now it's left for Valpo to try and just take a retake here. Gets shredded a little bit there. The Rock will knock back Orisa just a tiny bit here, but here comes Orisa pushing in on point. You have Famputy on the side, trying to get this flank out. That May wall just stopping Valpo. Gonna be forced to dash away here now. Atlas turned to that form, getting pushed back by him. Orisa still walking in. Famputy dropping really low here. Low flaps trying to take this front angle. Gonna get healed up a lot, sucking in a lot of damage there. Gonna get that extra shield. Pushes up, and now Valpo's going to take a little bit more of an assertive stance. Famputy dashes in 2. They pick up 1, although they trade 2 here. Now going to take up. Atlas picks up a 3rd, picks up a 4th as well.
Wow, Atlas going on.
Gonna look for it, dude.
Oh.
Fusick picking up that last one there.
Atlas popping off.
Insane, insane. No, I mean, you've got that form back. You're able to just kind of slide through, especially with the pressure in the space that Famputy and Low Flaps gained. Just really, really useful for Valpo here. And now Bradley University is going to be looking for their first retake here, even it up on the percent. Walking up, gets the hit on the Rock here. Now trying to push up into this point. Churro picks up 1 with the Ana Bomb, but Net pulls in with the Orisa. Oh, but Churro picks it up. Another kill there, shutting it down. Atlas picks up a 2nd. Gets kicked off there, but Famputy is going to be able to finish that off, and that's going to be a clean take for Valpo.
Yeah, the first 2 fights looking really strong for Valpo. We saw Bradley able to take control of the point initially, but Valpo, taking their time, being patient, and they've been really well coordinated and using a lot of teamwork so far.
Yep. Definitely, I think we've seen some real target focusing going on here, especially with that Orisa ult being to pick off. The May pops the wall, trying to just isolate Low Flaps. Low Flaps does get isolated here. He gets picked up. Atlas will change form, though, trying to get flicked out. The Orisa is 1v1ing them there. Fusick doing their best to keep alive this Bastion. Bastion's going to be forced to back up as Famputy falls. And Valpo now forced off this point here. Going to try and get back. Churro going really low here. Doesn't have any self here. Looks like Baptiste will keep him up, though. And now Valpo's put on this back foot here.
Looking at ult economy, we have 5 ults for Valpo.
Yep.
And 3 on the side of Bradley as well. So definitely going to see a big fight here. Hopefully they don't use all 5, but here we go.
And there's the ult as well coming from Baptiste. Combo with the Atlas form. And now Atlas is just shredding on the side here. You're still sitting on a lot. Here comes the Sigma ult as well. Pulls up 1, pulls down 2, picks up a 2nd. Atlas picks up a 3rd. Now they're just going to walk this on point here. Atlas just going insane on this front line here. I mean, we're seeing right now. Valpo team is just getting that shred.
But Valpo has the percent lead 70 to 65. It feels like they're very dominant, but only like 5 to 10% lead. But they've won those team fights. Look pretty solid so far. So in this best of 3 control point, we'll see if they're able to close the first one.
And you're still sitting on Nano Blade here, so if Bradley decides to try and make a move here, you have a lot of offensive options, and they're pushing in. You're looking for the backline. Here's the backline ult as well. Gets the 1 dash. Gonna look for another dash. There's a slice as well. Trying to pick up a 3rd. Famputy just destroying this backline. That's a triple kill. Gets the quadra there, and now it's just May left, and that's going to be a wipe for Valpo in this overtime, and that's going to be map 1 going to Valpo and Oasis.
Beauty slicing and dicing through that back line.
No, definitely. There's a reason I just kind of set the camera there. We saw it happening. You can kind of see that right before it's about to happen. I mean, the positioning on the right side, being able to just get in range for Ana tossing that in and then focusing that back line back to front. Well, I mean, Low Flaps just tanks that front side. Really, really good coordination from Valpo's side, and that's a very clean take on map 1.
Yeah, looking really good on map 1. And to be honest, they've been looking good all season, coming in with an undefeated record, 5-0. Last week of the regular season here. Bradley, I believe, is like 2-5, one of the lower teams in the division. But Valpo looking to secure their number 1 seed for the playoffs next week. But I mean, they've been playing well all season, and you can really tell just on that first map.
Definitely. I mean, they're just showing their confidence right now playing together, and it looks like they are going to try and take just a little bit of a side angle. They're not going to go for that choke as Bradley immediately dashes to the high ground there, and now they're going to play with this choke on the left side. Jumping in, you have Beauty in this front line trying to deflect. Low Flaps gets a knockoff off tower. You have to be careful. There are only one. Beauty does go down, though. Atlas picks up one to trade it. Winston jumping up, trying to just knock back on that line. Low Flaps pick up the kill on Winston, although there is a res there on the Echo. They are playing with numbers advantage here on Bradley's side. They do pick up one as well. Low Flaps has jumped down to the point, jumping around here, trying to stay on this Genji. There's a 1v1 of supports on this top side, and Fusic is going to win it there with Baptiste. Now just sniping off here, trying to use that hit scan, gets the one shot, and there it is. Now they're just left to finish off this Winston, and that's going to be a good first take for Valpo. A little bit of a staggered fight at the beginning, right? You had a couple of picks, especially with Bradley playing that Mercy, having that res advantage, but Valpo being able to just swing that in their favor, get this first point of Oasis. And I think, honestly, this is one of the harder points, at least on Oasis in general, to hold initially. It's definitely more of a retake point. You have so many options jumping onto this point. It's very hard to take it. It's more so just a game where you got to take, you gotta just catch them off guard, as they will get jumped on this top side. Atlas does pop it though with the Baptiste ult coming in, and that's just so much damage. Picks up the baby Diva, jumping to that backline. Beauty swapping to the Reacher. Swapping to the Reaper now. Got the letters mixed up. Just gonna force Echo off point there.
Dude, there's no way Bastion form is balanced. Dude, he just spits out damage. It's crazy.
I mean,
so he's more susceptible when he's on Bastion form, correct?
No.
No?
Yep, he just swaps.
He has more DPS?
Yep.
But maybe less mobile, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a lot easier to hit him.
Gotcha.
He
switched to that like tank kind of form. Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, now we're talking here. Here's the Sigma ult in this choke point here, trying to get a pick on the support. There's the pick on the support. Atlas form goes down, but Atlas will go down. Beauty is going to just Wraith form this Echo. Echo won't be able to get the ult off, but Beauty will. Doesn't get anything though. It does get eaten by Diva, and now Diva's gonna force them off of this top side. All that's left is Fusic on this point here. Just gonna try to go down here, not to stagger it. Now, yeah, Valpo's gonna be on the side. I mean, speaking about Bastion and just kind of how strong he is in meta right now, we talk about Bastion, Reaper being kind of essentials for this Valpo team. A lot of Overwatch meta is that tank busting DPS. You just see, because how strong tanks are, especially great tanks like Diva getting up there, although, a couple nerfs to her recently in this next patch. Diva just kind of being up there, especially with Ramatra, Orisa. You need that tank bust, but here comes a huge pull as well. Atlas just gonna shred on this corner, trying to counter this Kiriko. Beauty is on the backside though, will have to back it up though. Fusic picks up one, trying to pick up another one here, just trying to DPS a little bit, help out because Atlas is down now. Low Flaps does get the rock off. Now gonna push up on this front side here. Gonna get this shield off. Diva just eating so much valor. But here comes the Nano as well. Going off Beauty. Beauty now has that soldier. Gonna have to dodge the Diva bomb. Jumping into the side, trying to push this Echo off point here. Echo getting up, won't go down though. Diva walks up and just blocks just enough now. Low Flaps is kind of left alone on point. Valpo playing with a pretty awkward angle here. Trying to walk back. Atlas still getting back to point here. Trying to take a couple of shots. Fusic still in this backline here. The sleep comes out from Ana, not going to be able to connect, and now it's just left for MP. Here comes the ult though from Bastion. Bastion going to look for something on the backside. Take off a little bit there. Not going to be able to hit anything though, as Zero Wi-Fi on Bradley's side picks up a triple kill and will clean Valpo off this point.
I feel like the Diva's been, ever since we've seen the switch to Diva, like it's been providing a lot of value for them, especially in the front line. We saw that initial fight, like in that corridor where Valpo was having a tough time getting in. but I mean, the D.Va, along with their supports, like keeping their front line healthy, Bradley's looked pretty good, you know, on this hold so far.
Definitely. I mean, you had a lot of projectile characters. So now you have the Sigma ult coming in. You have that D.Va. Gonna force it on that D.Va. There comes the tactical visor from FanPewDie as well. Jumping on this backline, picks up one, looking for two. Gonna try and get baby D.Va here. Try and stay on the shred. Low Flaps will finish it off. Fusic picking up the third there. And this will be a team kill for a retake on Valpo. 75%. You have to be careful here. You blew a lot of ults there. You won't have any for this next fight. And Bradley will be sitting on 2 or 3. So you want to not try and drag this fight out. You need to get an early pick and just run it here, because the longer you drag this fight out, the more chance Bradley has to pop those ults they need. They are walking around the side. This will be their final take. Only 93% left on the clock. Low Flaps trying to hold this front line here. You still have this top side from FanPewDie. D.Va does jump this top side, but immediately gets shredded by the team. And here comes Atlas. There's the ult as well from Kiriko on the side. Although May goes down, FanPewDie stays DPSing in this back line here. Low Flaps stay on this backside, and that's just going to be a clean team wipe for Valpo. And that's going to be a take.
I think Bradley had a little slip up there with the D.Va going in very overextended, a little too far. I do that a lot in my game, so I know... very familiar with the play like that.
No,
but we'll see what the play game is here.
Yep. It's going to be 0 Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's that triple kill. Definitely nasty for Bradley at least taking this back here. Because you'll see FanPewDie just kind of raised modes this, but it doesn't really matter because 0 Wi-Fi is just going to shoot behind him. But, no, I mean, we talked about that last comp, right? D.Va had so much value when it comes to just... blocking a ton of projectiles on the side of Valpo, right? Because you had the tank busting Bastion and you had the Reaper going down. That's just so much value that your defense matrix has. So
yeah, I mean, it looked really good, pretty much all the way until that last fight. But yeah, it looked like Bradley was rushing a little too much, not really worried about touching point, not really worried about being cohesive. And like together, and it kind of showed in that last team fight. I was a little worried because Valpo didn't have any ultimates. Bradley had a lot coming up. I felt like that was definitely their chance to make this map 2, you know, go in their favor. So
definitely, I think it's like because Valpo made the swap right from the Bastion to May. So you had a lot of DPS now. You had a lot of tank busting again, like we talked about. For May, D.Va can't block, and then D.Va jumps up topside. Kind of just overestimated how far she could reach, because I'm thinking you dive up there, you knock off, and you immediately jump down, right? But she just dove up, Valpo spaced back, and
I thought she had ultimate the way she was playing, and I look up and I'm like, oh, and she doesn't.
No, an ult topside could be seriously game changing there, but I mean, just wasn't in the cards for Bradley on that retake. Yeah. But no, we are going to take a quick break here as Oasis map 1 does go to Valpo, so we are going to wait for map 2, and we'll catch you guys at the start of, it looks like it will be Hollywood.
Yep.
And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, to the start of map 2. Valpo taking first map, taking Oasis. So now we're hopping onto Hollywood, a little bit of a hybrid map, right? You got that control point, you got that payload. We're talking about comps here, right? Low Flaps staying on the Sigma, staying on the defense at least a little bit, and now it looks like Bradley's gonna opt for a little bit of a dive comp. right? You have zero Wi-Fi on the far, going to be able to jump over that right side, kind of get a little bit of an awkward angle. There's the suicide. But then you have the dive with Winston, Genji. You have safe healers like Ana and Zenyatta. Zen getting a buff as well this last patch, so now really a viable option for your supports. But now we're going to see this first take. Winston's probably going to look to try and jump on this top side. Farah does switch for zero Wi-Fi, going back to that Echo. Still have that flying option that we're seeing. And we're going to see them take an angle here. There's the jump up from Winston as well, trying to focus on low flaps. Going to use the bounce from Bastion Bomb there. Get a little bit of a better angle. Here comes the form and gets the first kill of the round as well. Atlas picking off that Winston, and now a lot of Bradley's push is killed. Although Kirby, Zenyatta picks up a kill on Famputi on that Torbjorn. So, I mean, not all bad trades here for Bradley. Still picking up one. It's going to be less of a delay getting back to this point here. But now low flaps going to try and hold this front line here. There's Winston jumping into that back line. Going to have to be careful. Healer's still on this top side. Winston did miss that jump there. They're going to try and stay up. Winston now on this back line, trying to jump up a little bit here. Low flaps holding this front line pretty well. And Caster picking up a kill on the Winston as well. So that another dive just not working out to there. The Rock finishing off. Yep.
That was dirty.
I mean, staying steadfast on this front line here.
Just chucked a rock at him.
Yeah.
Just threw a boulder.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of brutal. That's kind of nasty.
But we do see the switch to D.Va. I honestly like this pick. I was going to comment the Winston we haven't seen too much, and I haven't seen it perform too well.
Ooh. Clean flick. But there's the D.Va jumping into this top lane here. Going to be forced to just slide backwards here. But yeah, no, Winston's just not really in a good spot right now. It was a good idea to try for the comp, but...
Yeah. I was curious to see how it went, but I feel like smart play switching to D.Va here.
Yep.
Completely biased as I am a one-trick D.Va. I just like watching D.Va.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's bad either. You have a Sojourn, you have the Bastion, and you have this high ground control as we're seeing them push it off there. And here comes the ult as well from Sigma. Sigma pulling up, throwing down, but the Zenyatta is going to try and counter that. There's the power up as well on Atlas, trying to get a shred. There's the ult coming out, going to get a couple of shots, see if the Kiriko picks up one as well. Lilflap still pushing on this side here. You have the Sojourn almost coming up here, but not going to be able to, or not going to have to use it here, as Valpo is going to have a clean hold here. There's the spray and there's the finish off Valpo.
Looking a little behind in early trades, but Valpo able to pull out with the fight win here.
Yep.
About a minute 40 seconds left. So will Valpo not even let them get to the first point?
Yeah, I mean, Bradley is doing a great job trying to take up on this high ground, but then you notice that you have 3 of Valpo on the back line still near point. And you just really can't break that line, and we're seeing just how important that is because you had the
start
nano.
Out with 2 picks.
Oh, yeah, no, this might be a bad fight for Valpo. That is a sleep as well. They're getting pretty desperate here. There's the mix from Echo, and that's going to just be a shred on Atlas here. Just trying to stay on point. Not going to be enough. They're just going to back it up. Atlas going down.
We did see 3 ults on the side of Bradley, and they were able to hold on to a couple of them just based off the fact they were able to get some early picks in that fight.
Honestly, I think it's Caster Curse. I think I shouldn't have said anything about holding that high ground because we immediately lost it right after I said that.
Well, I mean, I was the one who was like, maybe we can hold point. But we got 3 minutes here, 2 checkpoints to get to. So Valpo's objective is to stop this truck from getting to these checkpoints and to the final final checkpoint. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, Valpo still has a lot of options to play around this. Fusic and Slept, they're going to try and dive in front of that, block any projectiles they can. Liflap still putting down a little bit of DPS in this front line. Atlas going to look for a form change and walking onto point here. Going to get this shred out, and D.Va force the defense matrix out. Popper out. D.Va's going to have to force ult just to try and get that cooldown back a little bit faster here. And now Valpo in a pretty good spot. I mean, you force a really good team fight ult out of the side of Bradley. Atlas going down a little bit here. Defense matrix popping back out. Getting shredded a little bit here. Discord on Famputer going to be forced to back up for that med pit. And now Low Flaps walking back on this side here again. Atlas flips form again. You're going to look for a backline pick. Not going to be able to get anything though. Iana playing around that side. And now Low Flaps is going to go down for it. Fusic also gets picked. Zenyatta is going to ult on the side of Bradley. Going to push up to this top side here with that D.Va. D.Va going to force the rest of Valpo off that point here. And now it's left to the supports to just try and get out of here. He gets the anti-out on the D.Va, but it's not going to be enough as Valpo is now forced to just back up.
When Valpo regroups, they will have 5 ultimates online. Bradley does have 3 by their own, but I mean, looking to win a fight, using 2 or 3 of those ultimates hopefully here, make a stop before they hit this next checkpoint.
Yep. You gotta wonder how they're gonna try and econ this. Do you want to try and play, you know, 2 ults into overtime, or do you want to just try and go for a push and hold? But there's an ult on the back line as well, jumping in. But here comes the ult from the back. Sojourn jumping up, looking for anything here. Gets the stolen, gets the shot. Gonna look for one, but gets sucked by the Sigma. Gets immediately picked as well. Low Flaps does pick up one with the ult. Fusic getting dove. Picks up one before going down to that D.Va. Echo gonna try and look for an ult here with the change. Maybe gonna be able to get it, but not gonna get anything there. NECC, they're still holding on to the ult there. Not going to find really any angle to nano this here, and that is going to be checkpoint for Bradley. Bradley now sitting kind of pretty here, almost 3 minutes going into this last checkpoint on Hollywood.
I don't know if this is my Overwatch experience talking, but I feel like Valpo, they had 2 people get picked and then kind of used the ultimates instead of, you know, the other way around, trying to get ahead of it. Maybe being a little conservative there with their ult usage, but who knows. Bradley able to get to this next checkpoint, has about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to advance to the final line here.
But now, I mean, you swap to the Sarisa, you have a little bit more pushing pressure, a little bit more steadfast pressure, especially for this last point. You're really trying to play time here. Bradley definitely is in the driver's seat here for this last point, so you have to be careful. There's the Mei as well, getting dove to the backline. Fusic does go down, but FanBeauty trades 1 for 1. Now, Low Flaps still being able to push on point. This D.Va just trying to bully FanBeauty here. FanBeauty gets the nano, gets the charge up as well. Gonna look for the shot. Oh, almost gets the shot and finishes off the Ana. We'll get the D.Va out of point here. Yep, gonna slide out. D.Va has to use it, just try and get it back here to keep this push alive for Bradley. Now, gonna walk up, deletes a lot of this here, pushes that D.Va back now. You have a lot of zoning potential with this Orisa. Orisa almost coming out as well, just so much charge.
Valpo able to make a little bit of a hold here with 1:30 remaining.
Yep, no, I mean, you got the shots off. Now, you're gonna steadfast this, you're gonna walk up. You have your ult going down. Like you said, you have a lot of economy on the side of Valpo, so they might be able to look for a play here.
If they're forced to kind of group on that point, a result could be super valuable.
First the Mei ice out. There's a huge ult coming in from Low Flaps. The Zenyatta will try and save it though. Won't get any one-shots though. Will go down. That's 2 on down on the side of Valpo. Valpo popping off there, but not going to be able to get that kill, and that's going to be a team kill. Yeah.
I thought that Bastion ult was going to... Or not Bastion, Orisa ult was going to be super valuable there, but it didn't look like it worked out too well.
And we're seeing just that Echo just be so strong here on the side of Bradley. But, I mean, hey, it's what hybrid points do. That is only going to be, you know, 3 checkpoint. Still have 50 seconds left on the clock for Bradley there. So Valpo put a little bit behind. Still have to play a little bit ahead here. Excuse me. Put a little bit behind. Now having to play to get ahead. And having to 3-0 this point.
So they're going to have to get to this final checkpoint here, but 50 seconds isn't too long, so yeah, Valpo backs against the wall here.
we say
inside
that every
joke
stream.
for the casters. Not necessarily backs against the wall, but they are definitely going to have to get to this final checkpoint, but I think it's pretty doable. I thought they had a very good first hold and kind of some unfortunate fights, maybe some bad timing and miscommunication. A couple of those fights as they were bringing the truck down. We'll see what Valpo is able to do. Looking at the team comps here. Any thoughts on them so far?
I mean, looks pretty solid. I'm wondering what NECC is going to go here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with the Ana. Something that can at least keep Atlas and FanBeauty up, I think, is the most important thing, because Sigma has a lot of sustain here, right? Especially with this kind of short choke that they have. The Sigma suck is just way too strong here, but you need something that's going to be able to at least follow up Atlas and FanBeauty, and I think the Lucio is a good pick as well. Yeah. No, I like it here, and they're going to just speed up onto this point here. Hey, with the Lucio changes as well, now with an uncapped speed, I would love to see that go on, but they are going to try and take this immediately. Going to follow up and push to this top side here. You have this Lucio boost going on. Low Flaps is going to take this front line here, and they're going to push him off this top side. And now Valpo looking for a pretty good push, almost melting immediately here. Just trying to keep up. Low Flaps does get slept here. Going to look for anything. Sojin getting a lot of trade here. Atlas still waiting up on the side. Doesn't really have an angle to dash in right now, but when they can push in, they will try and get it. FanBeauty showing a little peekaboo there, just trying to walk up, and now playing a game of Ring Around the Rosie with the team. Atlas on 1 health, getting almost going down there. Going to be able to get safe, but Valpo's going to use that opportunity to push in. There's one, gets the pick as well. That's 2 down. on the side of Bradley, looking for 3. There's 3.
Nice.
Zero Wi-Fi takes it out, but Fan Beauty's gonna pick up a triple. If Fusick picks up the double there, and that's gonna be a team kill and an early take for Valpo. Looking pretty strong on this early advance.
Capturing the point much faster than Bradley, so gonna have a little bit extra time here on this push.
Yep. No, I mean, definitely Bradley gave a little bit too much there, allowed them to play a little bit too quick with the angles, especially not going to be able to pick off Atlas using those abilities there. Kind of gave Valpo the time to actually just walk up and go. Gonna look to deflect, not gonna be able to hit that. Gets the dash, but dashes into the wall there, almost going down there. Still gonna try and stay on point here though. You do have to swap to Alari though. Now that you're off that first point here, Lucio, a little bit hard to try and stay on, so you have a little bit more range, a little bit more damage on the Alari, and we're seeing these snipes go off and just trying to keep that pressure on the top side. And now Atlas trying to get the dash back, will pick off the kill there. That's gonna be 1 for Valpo. Not gonna have to jump back. The fight's still going on the other side though. Fanpity picks up 1, gets the ult, but will get punched to death there. Trying to pick up the second. Now you just have Fusick left on this top side. The rest of Valpo pretty low, but he will pick up that kill.
Valpo looking really good on this push so far.
Yep.
I don't know if this is offensive side of map or what's going on, but they've been looking a lot cleaner in fights now.
Honestly, usually I would just lie, but I have no clue. I completely forgot.
I have no clue.
I completely forgot.
But we're looking good on great pace. Gonna hit this checkpoint and get more additional time. So I mean, we got about a third of the way left to push, and just trying to kind of be over that 50 seconds, probably be in that 2-minute range would be
But you have to be
nice.
careful. There's the nano and there's the tact visor coming out of
commentators curse
Bradley,
again,
yeah.
man.
No, seriously.
But
It's getting rough. Next time we'll just like mute ourselves for a little bit while we talk positively. But no, I mean, that was a lot out of
they're still in a
side
really
of
good
Bradley.
spot for sure.
Yeah.
Still on good pace. But Valpo gonna look to regroup here. Ult economy looking pretty even for both teams.
Yep. I mean, you're sitting on about 3 ults for both sides before this fight at least goes off here. Kind of is the key how you play, especially both teams have Sigma ult up, so you definitely have a lot of displacement. You see, they're just fighting over this plank here. There's the Suck Dude try and walk up with the Sojourn E, and there's the ult out of Sigma. Sigma pulls up 2, gonna get a shot, but the Zenyatta ult's gonna keep him alive now. Gonna walk up, that is the support ult going down. You have the shot and Sojourn ult coming out on the side of Bradley, but a quick flick from Fanpity is gonna be able to pick up 1. Sojourn trying to pick up the trade. There's the trade there. Gonna go 1 for 1, but Atlas has the ult out, picks up 1, gonna look for a shot. Lil Flaps will trade for that. Another 2 for 2. I mean, it's a really even fight right now, but Valpo's pushing up a little bit hard here. They're gonna have pressure on map now. You still have the Ana up, you still have Lil Flaps up. Oh, and there's the ult from Sigma. Now, I mean, push to the backside. It's just left Fusick desperate to just keep Lil Flaps alive here. Won't have Baum up yet, though. Not going to be able to find the angle to get the heal, and now Valpo's going to be pushed off this point. It is rough going into this checkpoint, especially this deep on Hollywood 2, just because of how close that spawn is.
Yeah.
Definitely just really hard to try and, like, feed in and stagger in here because
So when we see
Bradley's
that
always
2
going
for
to have
2
that
trade
advantage.
into
Yep.
that extended fight, that's kind of what we're looking at is those spawn timers, when you're able to get back and join the battle.
Yep. So now, I mean, now you have the ult up for Fanpewty. You're looking for an ult from Fusick as well. We might see a nano charge. And now Low Flap's taking this front side here. Gonna walk back. Got a lot of damage off. Gonna force, but Finkies picks up the kill on Low Flaps. Atlas will trade it, but then that's another one going down. Here comes the power up as well. Gonna maybe look for the ult. Not gonna ult it though. Just gonna use straight damage. There's another shot. Atlas picked up a double on the back too as well. No, I mean,
Dude, that looks
Fanbooty.
so clean, just like jumping over to the side. I don't know, man.
No,
Valpo-
Sojourn is a clean character to play. So
Yeah.
fun.
He is a cool kid. But Valpo able to get to that checkpoint, starting to advance this forward. 2 minutes 40 seconds on a pretty similar pace to Bradley at this point.
Yep. It's really, really even pace actually. So now it's going to be kind of just this first fight I feel like is going to determine who takes this advantage. If Valpo can even get to that 3-point in overtime. And there's the dump in and a huge deflect as well. Atlas deflecting the nano and deflecting the soldier bomb. There's the ult from Bradley though. Soldier gonna pick up that kill. Fanpewty's gonna trade for one in the backline. Has the ult off going down. There's the ult from Lil Flaps as well, pulling up on the side. Gonna try to slam. Only is gonna be able to knock out that knock out the Sigma here. Gonna look for a flick there. Lil Flaps picks up the kill on Kirby. And now they're gonna just push up on this side. You have to be careful. Ana in that backline just keeping this Sigma alive now. Lil Flaps still just trying to stay in this fight. Atlas going insane on this backline though.
Oh my
Anacaster pulling out the ult. Didn't even have to use the blade for the triple kill. Oh my goodness.
Valpo able to do it with minute 47.
Yep.
So are able to get to that third checkpoint.
A little bit more time on their plate, which is what we like to see.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, you're sitting on a minute remaining for the side of Bradley. Minute 47 on the side of Valpo. So
Yeah, so it's the overtime format. It's the same map, same objectives, same checkpoints. Both teams will have a chance on offense with their time remaining left over from their first push.
Yep.
So Bradley will have a minute. Valpo will have a 47-second advantage here. But, you know, with that overtime, I mean, anything's possible. 47 seconds, it's nice to have, but it's not too big of an advantage.
Yep. No, definitely. I mean, biggest thing about this overtime, right? Obviously, time does not reset. So you're going to try and take this first point immediately. Any hold on the side of Valpo on this first point, I think is definitely just a win. Even if you don't end up holding the point fully, any delay, forcing them to overtime, at least going into first checkpoint, is definitely your, like, what you want here.
Having to, like, force them to stay on point in a fight is a big disadvantage.
Yep.
So,
especially when you work with ults like Valpo's cooking up here with the Mei. It's insane just with the Sigma and with the Mei. You have just so much area damage that forcing people on point is definitely your, like, MO.
But Valpo was able to hold for well over a minute this first time, so see they're going for that similar positioning, similar team comp so far.
And Bradley now immediately pushing this side. There's the Genji dashing up top. Gonna get a reflect off. Lil Flaps taking a lot of damage here, but a ton of healing from this Mercy on the side of Valpo. They're gonna push back. Diva's gonna take that top side, and now Valpo's putting in a little bit of a position here. Fan Beauty almost going down, getting healed up though.
Bradley with 30 seconds, man, that time flies.
Yep. And now, I mean, you got to make a push. Diva's going to try and push to this top side here. Going to take this, try and force Valpo off. Defense Matrix going to eat a lot of Fan Beauty. Fan Beauty does go down here. May still working on this backside. Going to heal up a little bit here. Has to be careful. Going to try and just shred this Echoes. Gets the Echo shred off. Going to wall off to try and defend. And that's going to be 2 down on the side of Bradley. 3 down on the side of Bradley. 4 down. They're going to try and run down. You have Baby Diva on point here with the Echo. And the Mercy as well. Mercy just flying around. Valpo taking a lot of damage. Fan Beauty picking up 2 though, and that's going to be a clean. Gonna try and just push this. Even if they die, that's going to be overtime, and that's going to be no take on the point for Bradley, which means Valpo only has to get to this first checkpoint on point. This is definitely best case scenario. You got more time. You only have to make it the first checkpoint. You use this momentum. You got to run straight into this.
So they track that capture progress too. What happens if Valpo doesn't take this point here? Do you know how that plays out?
Okay, usually in ranked it would just be a draw.
Well,
like
yeah,
they just draw it. And I don't think that's different here. I'm gonna be honest. I actually don't know,
dude.
We have never
in most games, custom games, they don't let you draw.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like
hopefully
I'm thinking
we
like
won't be in that
Valorant,
scenario.
right? Because Valorant will draw in ranked, but it won't draw
it'll
in
keep
competitive.
going, yeah.
I've actually never seen us like get to a point that could draw here for Valpo. So.
Yeah. Also tracking that capture progress, I'm curious if I don't know if they do it on this map, but they do it in like chunks of thirds.
Yep, that's what happens.
So like
here.
even if we get any sort of capture progress, I'm assuming we may.
We have to complete the first third.
Okay.
If we complete the first third of capture
progress, let's just
progress,
take the point and not have to worry about this entire conversation. So
that's what I'm
I
saying.
like that plan for Valpo.
I gotta be careful.
I am
not
curious.
Say that we'll do it because I'm not gonna curse this.
I am curious. You know, I'm gonna ask players after that game. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never. You know, we've never been in that situation before.
Honestly, yeah, it might be good to get a little bit of input there. But now, I mean, we're dashing onto this point here.
Valpo going with the same team comp they had in this push on this map.
Yep, I mean, you have Anacaster on this. Lucio going to be able to boost them up here, and they're walking up now. There's a ton of healing. Atlas taking a little bit of damage there. Going to be able to jump to this top side, get a quick reflect off. We'll deflect that bomb there, and now they're playing the same take that we saw them take earlier this game. You have a couple of shots here. Low Flap still walking up. You push on the side, Beauty. Gonna look for a pick here, trying to get that Hanzo off that high ground. Will get it off, has full charge here. And now Low Flaps will jump onto this point here. Gets the rock and the knockdown on this Orisa. Orisa taking a lot of damage. Low Flaps really low here, gets the suck off. Doesn't take a little bit of shield though. You have Atlas on this backside though, still in the team, but gets body blocked by Orisa. Won't be able to get out. And now Valpo is fighting with a team advantage. And that's gonna be 3. That's 4 down on the side of Valpo, and it's only Anacaster left. Gonna just have to dash back here.
Yep.
Valpo gonna have to regroup here. Now only 40 seconds left on the clock. Realistically,
they do have the time to regroup and get one good solid fight in. Don't have to rush too much here.
No, I mean,
Oh, so Low Flap switches to the
Alar, or no, Low Flap swapped to Zarya.
Zarya, yeah,
and we have Anacaster swapped to that Alari as well. Just get a little bit more
and the
damage.
Widow.
Oh yeah, they're
Lot
going
of
for
swaps
range.
coming out.
They're definitely just gonna try and shoot him off this range. I like it though. You're just
Bold
gonna skill
play.
check. You're just trying to skill check that top. You go for it. There's the dash up immediately from Atlas, jumping on that backside, and Beauty's just gonna go for a couple of shots. There's a huge shot. Atlas another with the reflect as well. Get a shot. And now they're just jumping on point. That's the overtime. Zarya at full charge here. There's the power up as well coming from Fusick. Jumping in, that's the shot, and that's the clear you need from Valpo. I mean, it's Tracer for Bradley, but immediately gets picked by Beauty's bomb there. And that's going to be a
switch
take.
to Widow was so bold.
Huge.
That is great
like I
shots.
Said, you take the range and you just skill check.
Dude,
that's all you do.
So clutch.
I mean, you have Atlas dashing in, getting a huge reflect, and then Beauty just lining them up from the back. You have the play of the game going to lane on this last push as well. Pretty huge, I will agree. It is definitely deserved. Just insane synergy on that first push. Looked really, really good for Bradley on that first take, right? Got me a little worried in the booth here, but I mean, at the same time, Valpo still holds it back on offense.
Yeah, I was worried we were gonna get in that situation. I was like, I can't. I just gotta stop talking.
Yep. Seriously, I feel so. I'm like walking on eggshells here now. I gotta be careful.
Yeah, game 3, just no commentary.
Yeah, game 3, I'll put on like the caster angle in the corner, and I'll just do like American Sign Language, so I don't actually have to speak about anything. But
yep,
no.
but Valpo up 2-0 in this best of 5 series, so looking good.
Yep, definitely. I mean, this is kind of what we'd like to see from them.
Yeah.
But we're just going to roll right into game 3 here. We're going to take a quick break. Looks like we're going to go to Servasa for this game 3, which is a Flashpoint map. So I'm excited to see how it goes. We know that Valpo loves their Flashpoint.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we've lost a Flashpoint on varsity or academy the entire season.
Yep.
Don't check that, but I'm
Dude,
pretty sure.
I'm knocking on wood
I'm pretty
here.
sure.
We're not going to cast against this again.
I'm setting ourselves up for a commentator's curse. It's not good. But we'll be right back with game 3. We'll see you guys in a minute.
And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, to the start of map 3 for this NECC Overwatch best of 5 here. Valpo taking the first 2 games, really what we like to see, right? Kind of playing to their comps, playing to their strengths. Have a lot of tank busting comps coming out here, but Valpo with the quick switch at the end of map 2, going to be able to take that kind of long range fight. And now, moving on to this flashpoint, like we said, Valpo really, really strong on flashpoint, kind of fits their really, really scrappy playstyle that they like to have. So now, gonna push onto this. You have the Junker Queen, immediately a huge skim rushing team. You have the combo of Junker Queen and Atlas. Famputy's gonna work on that backline there. You lack a little bit of front line here, but other than that, Maywall gonna go up and knock May up off the side here. Now you have a ton of Junker Queen, gonna look for the melee. There's the melee shot as well. Gonna push up. The Maywall being huge to give Valpo a little bit of range. Churro picking up the first kill though. Gonna be able to bump that May. Atlas picking up the second, although Famputy does go down in the back line to that Kiriko. Now you have Atlas on this back here. Gonna have to just shield up, and Valpo's gonna be able to take this first take. Churro now jumping on this backside. Atlas still working here. Although it does go down, the Little Flap's gonna be able to trade 1-for-1 there. With Valpo on this point, I feel like it's a pretty good trade, right? You want to take any picks that you can, especially when you hold this objective. So now, I mean, Little Flap's sitting here. Gonna have a little bit of range to work with.
So got a little update on the Academy game so far, down 0-2. They are on the NECC mainstream, so we'll send you guys that way after the game. The Varsity with 2-0 lead here, looking for a big fight.
Yep, I mean, you have a huge hit there. Junker Queen almost got that ult up as well. Famputy jumping in the back line, picks up 1. Gonna look for 2. Gonna get 2. Gonna look for 3. Gets 3 as well. Lil Flaps picking up the double there as well. Fusic finishing it off, and that's gonna be a quick team kill for Valpo. Only using 1 ult. I mean, it was a huge ult from Lil Flaps though, and that's gonna be the first flashpoint for Valpo.
Yeah. So Bradley forced to kind of regroup and work their way towards the next point here. These points do go a little faster than the first game mode.
Yep.
So I think just about 60, 70 seconds compared to the 100 seconds. But Valpo's ult economy is looking really good. Didn't have to burn too much on that first one. Getting 100% to 0, looking clean on the first flashpoint.
I mean, Valpo is playing the move speed comp right now here. You have Junker Queen and you have the Lucio, but Lucio does pick down early. You have to be careful. The Bastion is just shredding here, trying to get Atlas. Atlas does jump back onto this point though. You are left, you have your tank, but the tank is pushed back.
Yeah, a little split off here.
Flap's in a really bad spot here. There's the ult though from Atlas. Kiriko gonna try and push him out, but Atlas picks up 1. Famputy with the blade goes down. Will guide though to 0 Wi-Fi, but leaves the team to finish up the rest of it with another team kill. And that's gonna be second objective, first take going to Valpo.
Valpo looked a little bit separated, a little bit split in that team fight, but they were able to figure it out and do it. Yep. So May with a pretty solid ult there, and yeah, even with Chiroro going down the Lucio early in the fight being split, Valpo's still able to win the fight.
Yep, I mean, nice thing is you had such good ult economy that although you were split for a lot of that fight, you had a lot to back up your you had a lot to back up your team and a lot to kind of just regroup with them. You are sitting on a lot of charge here. Here comes a huge ult coming out from both sides there. Famputy still looking from the corner here. May gonna be pushed off this point here. Lil Flaps trying to get that healing. We'll get the healing. The Lucio ult coming out from Bradley. Gonna heal them up a little bit with that Kiriko. The form coming out from Bradley as well. Gonna try and push back, but not gonna be able to pick up any picks yet. Although they will get one on Fusic, but Atlas picks up a second. Looking for a third. Lil Flaps will finish that one off. Now focusing on this Lucio as well. Jumping in. Lil Flaps just shredding that backline with Famputy and Atlas. And that's going to be a third team kill for this objective for Valpo. I mean, this is looking insanely clean. That's 2 takes, and now you're going to your final, what may be the final objective of this whole series. Valpo going to be insanely clean here. Although, hey, knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood there. Just to make sure. It works so far. I'm going to keep knocking there. But now, I mean, Low Flap's going to speed boost there with Churro. Just going so fast on this point. Always taking that kind of pressure over Bradley, and now you're going to jump to this high lane.
Yeah, able to get this great positioning for this last flashpoint.
So now, I mean, you have to be careful. Bradley is going to push through this side, though. Atlas has this front line. You do have an ult to work with here. You heal up here. Maybe look for an angle. Gets it out, though. Here comes a huge ult from Lil Flaps as well. And combo with the...
Oh, that's going to do it.
Oh, my goodness. That's disgusting.
That'll do it for sure.
That was disgusting. Valpo. I mean, it's like fish in a barrel at this point. Bradley just keeps walking into these chokes with Valpo's ult up, and it's disgusting how they play these.
Atlas
Valpo.
with great patience, using that little protect heal, able to find a phenomenal ult.
I mean, third flashpoint objective, third first take for Valpo, and fifth team kill, I think. we're fighting together this game. But there's the pull. Gonna try and isolate the Zarya. Zarya gets the bubble up though. Won't take any damage off that. Still gonna try and fight for this high ground. Gonna be able to get pushed off though. There's the ult as well, pushing back. Gonna go down, but the Blade from Fampew is gonna try and trade for anything here. Gets the shot off, but will die though. Low Flaps picks up a second. Lane working on this back line. You're still insanely low. Gonna try and do the push here. Has the melee up. Gonna try and get the healing. Gets the bleed and the healing, but it's not gonna be enough. Valpo, now I had to knock. I have to knock one more time. Right as I say it, they get retaked. I mean, granted, you had a lot of ults on the side of Bradley. You didn't have much economy on the side of Valpo.
Yeah.
You are gonna sit with these 2 support objectives up now. Or, excuse me, 2 support ultimates up now for this next fight. So you have to be careful if you're Bradley, just to try and not group up again. But
Yeah,
now,
but
I mean,
first time in this flashpoint, Bradley is taking control of a point. But Valpo, not gonna stumble at all. Just gonna regroup, trying to get back here.
There's
Already
the
captured.
Baptiste ult as well, yeah. Push him off. I don't think Bradley has recognized it yet. Almost getting capped there. Still walking up. Atlas gonna try and DPS this a little bit here. Gonna try it in. Churro gets the ult off, but it's not gonna be enough to save him, although Lil Flaps definitely enough to save the rest of his team. Putting in a ton of damage here. There's the shot as well, the form coming out from Bradley, and then the Lucio ult as well, trying to jump to this backside. Support's just trying to get back onto this point here. Fusic still staying alive there, keeping Low Flaps up on this objective, still insanely contested. 1-2 on this point here. You still have Atlas. There's the ult coming out from Low Flaps. The anti-heal is huge. Jump in and gets the spray off, and that's going to be a capture as well. Zarya, the 3 supports on the side of Bradley are jumping in, but here comes the ult from Atlas. Atlas goes down for it though. It's the rest of Valpo just trying to stay onto this point here. They have it capped 95%. You're going to be playing for this objective here. Both supports on the high ground here, just trying to keep Lil Flaps alive on this point. You're sitting at 99% overtime. Still have Lil Flaps just staying alive. Gets the final shot. Now, no contesting. No one to push that. Oh, wait, there's one on the point. Sombra keeps it alive. Bradley's going to be able to hop back on this point here. Try to take the shot. Lucio's still there. It's up to the DPS. And now they're going to shred it. There's the overtime. Going to wall it off.
This time.
And that's going to be map 3, 3-0 win for Valpo in this NECC Week 7. We're going to stay in this game really quick to check who's got this play of the game. I would not be surprised if it's Lil Flaps.
Play of the game.
It's Atlas. Okay, yeah. That's my second option. For the record.
Oh, not the play I was expecting, though.
Yeah, me neither. But, no, still insanely good play.
Yeah.
Right, because we're sitting here. Low Flaps picks off a lot. We have this back line. And that's going to be the series. NECC Week 7, last week of the regular season, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And Valpo's varsity team finishing off with a decisive 8-0. A really clean 3-0 win here, I feel. Bradley, really like great fights. I feel like it was never like too lopsided until that very last game.
Yeah.
I feel like map 2 definitely the strongest that came out. But Valpo using the momentum correctly, right? Using those comps, those tank busting comps correctly, and just being insanely strong. Going into these team fights.
Bradley going in this game was 1-4. So to see a team kind of lower in the division put up a very solid fight, especially on map 2, map 1, was very impressive. It kind of just shows how close these games are in the division, like the competition level. But Valpo has been able to close out games, been able to win fights when it matters, and the varsity team is sitting undefeated, going to take the 1 seed for playoffs, and the academy team, they're down 0-2 now. If they lose, they'll be 3-3, kind of on the verge of qualification, trying to get that 4 seed. Interesting enough, potential matchup in the playoffs first round, Valpo versus Valpo.
I can't wait to cast that.
Yeah. So curious if that's going to happen. Ideally, you like to see that maybe later in the playoffs, but
no, definitely. You don't want to see anyone get knocked out that first quarter.
We'll keep you guys updated on socials. If the academy team is still playing, they're over at NECC Esports on Twitch. So head over that way, support them, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. See you guys.